Have you seen any of our episodes?
I think I checked out a couple before we first had the meeting, but man, I've done so much in the last month. I don't even remember. So
Right. Well, I guess, Mark, we got to be more memorable. What are you drinking?
I am having a orange crush and ginger ale and a small touch of vodka.
A small touch. I like it.
Yes.
I was on the phone with Kenton earlier, and he was telling me he slipped on the ice going into the house and dropped his food on the floor.
Oh no.
Almost dropped it.
Oh, almost.
I ended up saving it. And instead of that, I pulled a bit of my hamstring, but it was worth it because the pizza was delicious. So
yeah.
I saved the pizza and forego the hamstring.
What kind of pizza?
It's from this place called Avatara in Calgary. My girlfriend's celiac, so we eat gluten-free, and we haven't found any pizza we can eat out that's gluten-free. And then did some online research, came across this place. Man, even from eating gluten pizza, this place is delicious. So try to eat there once a month, but it usually ends up being once or twice a week.
Right. How cool. I gotta ask, so are you gluten intolerant, or is it just a preference?
It's my girlfriend's celiac, so she's allergic to it. But just out of being a good boyfriend and being a good cohort, I forego eating gluten as well. Surprisingly enough, I actually feel really I didn't even know I felt bad, but when I stopped eating gluten, I felt better. And when I did my 23andMe, you get some answers back that talk about your health predispositions and stuff like that. And it's that I am probably intolerant to gluten. So I do now eat no gluten by choice, but it's mostly just because I love her so much. And I often sneak a little bit of a Big Mac here and there when I'm alone in the car.
I was going to say that. I was only when she's around, right? Because when she's not there. Yeah.
Is she going to watch this though?
She will. She knows.
Okay.
She knows. I'm good about it. She laughs at me, so I'll eat it outside the car. She'll be like, you can come inside the car. I'm like, I know, but as soon as I do, you're going to get mad at me for being in the car and pointing out the smell and stuff. So I'll just stay out here. What's up? I'm Kenton with Peach Jam Records, and you're listening to episode 115 of the Sit Down Podcast.
These episodes of the Sit Down Podcast are brought to you by Inspired Vapor Company. Drop the darts, man. Those guys are legit there to help you quit smoking and transition to vaping to help you quit nicotine. I struggled with a nicotine habit quite aggressively and used vaping to quit smoking. I was 4 years without smoking and had a cigarette and went hard in the paint. So these guys, I'm working with them right now too. They're helping me kick that habit. So I currently am vaping. Thanks guys for the help and support to kick the habit, man. So hit those guys up for any help if you're struggling with that. InspiredVaporCompany.com. There's 3 locations in Saskatchewan here, and use the promo code Moose10 at checkout for 10% off. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Kenton, for joining us this week. We met. I'm trying to remember how the frick we met. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was through
a mutual friend, I think, right?
Yeah, friend. Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Justin Skolny out there, dude. We love you. Yeah. So Kenton was introduced to me through a mutual friend because he has similar interests in the arts and the music as we do, Mark. So we invited him on here. For those of you listening, Kenton has, is it a label, a record label, or it's a production company for sure out of Alberta?
It's a record label, but our forte is definitely the production side of music, is facilitating producing of the music, but still technically a label.
Right. Nice. So yeah, that's for those of you listening, that's kind of what this episode is going to be about, who Kenton is, what he's doing, where he's from, all that kind of stuff. And so a little bit of sprinkling in some music that he's worked on. So I guess to dive into it, Kenton, how long have you had the label for?
We founded the label in 2020. Really, the first year was laying the groundwork. So I'd say that 2021 was our first kind of real year. And now that we've kind of made our first initial relationships and kind of have a good plan of what we want to do, 2022 is going to be our debut year.
Right. Right.
So let me rephrase that. Where did this idea come from that you wanted to start this company?
So basically, I started producing music. That's kind of my full-time shtick and what I kind of bring to the label and what inspired this. So back when I was 15, crazy. Yeah, my birthday was yesterday. I turned 25, so that's crazy.
Hey,
10 years ago.
10 years.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Cheers. Yeah. So yeah, 10 years ago now. Wow. Yeah. That's when I really got into producing music. I've been a drummer my whole life since I've been about 2. I've been playing the drums. Shout out to my dad. He's a session player, still is actually. Crazy how things go full circle. I was inspired by him, and now I'm getting him work through the label, doing more session work.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so through producing music and stuff, when I got into taking it more serious, probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, I really noticed this missing in the sense of independent artists wanting to release music, but not really being able to get the same support as a signed artist would. And even worse than that, not being able to become a signed artist without giving up such a stake in the ownership of their music and such. So,
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And that's why we clicked so hard That's why we clicked so well so hard, man. So hard. When the last time we chatted, because, you know, like when Mark started Funky Moose and the podcast Moose Fest, everything we've got our fingers in, that's what spawned it all too. It was like, there has to be something that we can do that's better than the way, better than the way it's done right now. Like it isn't fair, man. It truly isn't. We try and help promote all these artists out there who are amazing, freaking amazing, and should be like topping the charts right now. And my neighbor doesn't even know who these people are. And I'm like, where are you? Like, what are you listening to? You still listening to freaking Zeppelin on Rock 102? Like, are you serious? Like, come on, man. We're 2022 now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally get it. And I agree wholeheartedly with what you're doing, man. I freaking love it. Can you tell us, like, what are some things that you've got to work on this year?
This year, how long has it been already? Since January, February, March. The last couple months have been really narrowing in on artist Cheyanne Summer. I've been working with her on her debut EP. We released 3 of her debut singles in 2021. We got a decent amount of traction on some local radio stations and stuff like that. Hit the Spotify charts, believe it or not, in a place called Riga, which I forget the name of the country that's in, but it is like, not anywhere near here. I think it's Eastern or Western Europe.
I think it's Latvia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Latvia, that's what it is. So somehow I end up on the charts there, and then a few local Apple Music charts. But really just, now that she's kind of, I really love when I work with artists when they're in the stage of just kind of finding their sound, and doing the exploration and trying different things. And that's kind of what she was doing for her first 3 songs. And we really kind of, after those 3 songs, kind of took what we liked and didn't like from each one. And she kind of had found her voice after that. So these next ones of hers really speak to what her sound is going to be moving forward. And it's super cool. I'm excited to share with you guys. It incorporates some of her like favorite eras and my favorite eras of music, but with that modern twist. And it's still like, when I'm going for an old school sound, you can put filters and stuff and make stuff sound vintage and old school, but the best way to do it is to just use old school techniques. So that's what I like to do. I like to try to like track drums and stuff with a click, as many times as it takes until you get one kind of take through with a lot of feel and dynamics and feel, and then build that up with session musicians doing the same thing and record vocals in a similar manner. Obviously you still comp here and there these days, but and tune to some degree, but really don't like the auto-tune type thing. So we'll melodyne where necessary, but I really try to push artists to, learn the part, get comfortable, and just sing your heart out. And I'll take emotion at a flat note any day over perfection. I think lots of people will, and the imperfections in music is, to me, what really makes it connect with people and feel real.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I actually had this brainwave that I wanted to start a recording studio, and my only rule would be that when you record with me, you record it live off the floor as a whole band. If you can't do it, that's fine. just it's fine if you have to do a song 20 times to get that one almost perfect take, I think, because that's what makes music emotional.
Yep. And if you can learn, history repeats itself, right? And so if you can learn anything from the history of other artists, some of the most successful projects ever were recorded. So many, I think it was Jimmy Iovine was saying about some songs being recorded so many times that it wore out the actual tape machine and stuff. They had to replace the tape machine. They're doing over 100 takes. So I think it was
either the Beatles or the Rolling Stones that did that. And all the footage you see of the Stones, well, all the footage that I've seen of the Stones is them in a big studio playing together, getting sick and tired of that same song over and over until they get it right. So
yeah, that's an interesting conversation, because why and when did that turn? Like, when did people stop doing that, recording it that way? Just when the technology came out that you didn't have to? Or I have no idea.
I think when the general public said, we're going to let everybody get away with using that technology, because I think it has been used tastefully in the 90s, but I think probably the 2000s is when it became I always find that popular music was good, but then skips a generation. Not that I was around in the 70s, but I love 70s music. And so I feel like 70s was really good, and some of the pop music was really good. 80s was a lot of cheese and things, but that's again because things were just being introduced in that experimental phase. But then everything seemed almost overdone, and everything was competing for sound and had too much reverb on it and stuff. And then the 90s got pretty raw again, pretty rock and roll and raw. And then early 2000s got kind of cheese again a little bit, in my opinion, but still good music in every era. Obviously, I'm just talking kind of that pop culture music, I think.
Right. Yep. Right. Sorry for the interruption, you guys. I just wanted to tell you guys about Muse Canada. They're a new arts and entertainment media connection and support network. Skip the algorithms of social media and connect with other entertainment professionals across Canada. Sign up today for $5 a month, or use the promo code FunkyMoose2021 for 10% off. That is FUNKYMOOSE 2021 for 10% off. Back to the show. Yeah, it's so freaking hard to get music out there. You have to jump through a million bloody hoops to get your song on the radio, right?
I as we were talking about this, I was looking up the article because I read earlier this week that it is an article from the UK, and the title says, "Holding the Artist to Ransom. Musicians struggle to break even as venues and Universal cream off merch sales." So the big label Universal and even the venues take a cut of everything, and the artist basically is on stage for, well, nothing or close to nothing. And I think that,
or even owing money,
or even what?
Or even owing money at the end of their contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Paying to play.
And I'm not okay with that.
No, neither am I.
Why would you have to pay to perform something that you've created?
Yeah, we've had discussions about that in the past where we've
so
had
many
to cut.
times.
We've had to cut.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like the whole paying to play is fucking ridiculous, man. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It shows how am I trying to say this? It shows just how fucking crooked the business can be.
how
Like that,
commercialized it is.
yes, like
I think
everybody's
I think it has something to do with taking advantage of an artist that just wants to be on stage and perform their art. And then the business minded people only see, well, if they want to do it for free, great. I'll take all the revenue at the door. You know?
That's exactly it. And I feel like it's important that there's people like us, because to me, nothing excites me more than when I teach an artist about the business side and show them the unleft royalties they had on the table and the money they can make. Even like it's a long journey, and it shouldn't be easy for anyone, because I feel like there's enough space for everybody who doesn't kind of give up on trying. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't give up on that, you've carved your own unique space, but everyone has like a super hard journey to get there, and it's different. But if you keep persistent, I think that's the biggest thing. If you're persistent, but then the sad, like, everything's gray though in the music, because you can be persistent, but if you're persistent at the wrong thing, you're just digging a deeper hole where you're not going to get anywhere. So it's important to have the right people around you that can show you where to be persistent at. And then learning that business side is just paramount, because every artist is a business. And to monitor, like, if you really want to do this serious, you kind of got to understand that you do one for them, you do one for yourself. Like, you're going to lose, and this is terrible to say, but for an artist to really keep all themselves and keep in control, I feel like they got to recognize, they almost got to be comfortable losing a little bit of themselves, or giving that little bit of themselves to the public, because they almost have to if they want to maintain their sanity and stuff. So like almost 10% of them is going to be completely given to the public, and that other 90% they can hold and cherish, and they should have some massive separation between those two so it doesn't get blurred.
right.
Agreed.
What would you say is what's a more common thing that you see artists doing these days that they shouldn't be doing?
I'd say releasing too much music. I think that people have come to the conclusion that you need to be releasing like a song a month to be successful. And I think that's great if you have a good plan for it. But I really think that a song is so much more than that. And because we live in such an ADD world, which is good for us with ADD like me, but it's not good for longevity music, because a song that's popular one day is completely forgotten about the next. So I think it's important to really buckle down on, you know what, maybe like it's all about timing. You only get your shot once. And I think the worst thing ever is chasing. Here's the answer actually. Worst thing they can do is chase going viral right off the bat and stuff like that. Because even if you want to have controlled, slow growth. Because even if you get your first song goes viral and your name goes viral and you get all this write-ups, what are they going to look at? Your one song release? You're not going to make any fans that way. You're going to be known about and get your moment of fame, but you're not going to be able to convert that into lifelong fans and stuff. So I think recognizing that it should be hard at first, and that a viral moment is great if you have the stuff to back it up. So don't be releasing too often. Focus on quality over quantity, and nail down your sound. Be unique. I feel like the other thing that's changed so much is people are always trying to do type things, like things that are like this, or using like a reference is like a starting point, or Googling what's a popular chord progression, starting that way. Especially, funny enough, I started in hip hop, and that's where a lot of my background producing was, but hip hop's influenced by so many other genres, and I really have a love for jazz, R&B, all these other things, country, folk. So I'm doing a lot less hip hop these days. But the one thing that was crazy with the hip hop and with that sort of thing was with the people releasing so often, but then also just kind of, they'd come in and they'd want a type beat, like give me a Jay-Z type beat, or a female singer, I want a Rihanna type beat. And that's a cool starting point. But I remember watching documentaries of people in the studios like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and it was like, oh, if that sounds like something, throw it out, let's start over. Like, let's get crazy, unique, and try and experiment to where a different sound. And I think people don't actually recognize the power that has. If you can have your own sound that's not even perfect, but it's unique and people haven't heard it before, but it still has a familiarity in it that they're comfortable with, that's when you're on to magic. And then you need to, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I agree with all of that. Can you think off the top of your head, like maybe two artists that show good examples of that uniqueness, and like somebody that's newer out there that's doing something like that?
Yes. There's one artist I just actually I rarely ever give into ads. Like almost rarely, if ever. Maybe 2 times a year I'll be on YouTube or something. I'll hear a song come on an ad. I'll be like, oh, this is killer. I need to go find this person. And usually, because I'm a producer and I don't want to try to be involved in as much as I can, and stuff that I think is super cool and I get passionate, excited about. I always reached out to these artists, and this is I think it's San Swan Skag, but I don't think I'm like anywhere close to the name here. I gotta search for it. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Yeah. Look it up.
That does ring a bell though.
I got one for you guys that I'm gonna show you here that I'll cut out, but
What's that?
I can't remember the name of it. I gotta find it here.
And then of course you have the one-off wonders, kind of. Greta Van Fleet. They sound like.
Yeah, they popped into my head earlier too, because I was thinking, what are they doing right now? But I think they're touring right now.
Yeah, and I think they're working on a new album.
Right.
But I mean, they started off sounding very, very Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And now the lead singer still has, similarities with his voice, but the songs are more their own now, I find.
Okay, here. I want to play you guys something. I'm gonna have to cut this, but tell me if you've heard this song. I heard this a couple of weeks ago, and it's been fucking stuck in my head ever since.
Is it Tit Cups?
No, did you like it? No, it's not Tit Cups. Where is it? Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole song for you guys, but here, check this out though. After this Tushy bidet ad.
You have a bidet?
Yeah. Here, check this out. Woo!
Yeah.
It's so simple yet so powerful.
Is that the original that you're playing?
I want to say no. I don't think that was.
I think the original is by someone like Erykah Badu or something like that.
Could be. This was Portishead.
Portishead, yeah.
Portishead. That's who this was. But yeah, I fucking was watching American Horror Story, and that song came up at the end of one episode, and I was just like, oh, it was just. Oh, it was perfection. That's how I found that song, and it's been stuck in my head ever since.
Dude, I have that with Suits. The TV show Suits has so much good music.
Right?
Sons of Anarchy was the same way when I watched that show.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that soundtrack is awesome. Katie Seagal sings a few songs on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great shit on there.
Hell yeah, man. For sure.
It's usually HBO shows that come out with great soundtracks.
Yeah, that's an industry that independent artists should be getting themselves aligned with, sync deals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
make a friend and a music supervisor. Those are the types of connections you want to be making.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you know much about sync licensing?
Yeah, I know enough that I get my lawyers to review all the deals, and that I don't really know much at all, and it's super complicated. I've aligned myself and made a few. So like the record label that is found at Peach Jam Records, we have a deal with a few sync agencies with different territories that kind of have rights, non-exclusive rights, because I like to use different ones depending on the territory, to our whole label catalog. And then oftentimes myself as a producer and some of the other artists I work with will get briefs from them as well. So to me, it almost feels like a game show, but it's not. Like, I don't understand why it's like this and why clients who spend such crazy amounts of money have no time for it. But you'll get like a brief at like 11 p.m. one night that's like for like it won't say names. It'll be like electric car company looking for like some pizzazz and something that's like new wave, but not too new wave and still kind of laid back. And it gives like 3 references that don't make any sense and are completely different from one another. And then it's like you have to. Please have your demos in by like the next day at 10 a.m. And it's like budget up to 50,000. It's like, who spends this money? It's like, I have like one day I want it, but it's how it always is. So like, that's one of those things where you shoot your shot as much as you can and hope something sticks. And you just build enough catalog. Like if you're going to build any catalog, build it for like sync placement opportunities and make your music thematic. For like a lot of the artists I work with, it's easy because I like, not that it's easy to land deals. We haven't landed one yet. We just have a bunch that are in the works, and it seems to stay that way for months and months and months. But the point being is that I think music should be thematic anyway. When I listen to good music, I always close my eyes and I picture some sort of scene of a movie or colors or something. And I think
yes,
that's
dude, that's why I love music videos so bad. Man, I miss those MTV and Much Music days. Like I remember MTV too. There was no TV shows on there. It was just nothing but music videos 24/7.
And music videos weren't just advertisements and softcore porn then either. Hey, they had some more substance and creative vision to them as well.
Yes. Yeah, you betcha. What would you say, Mark? I got a question for you. What is your all-time favorite music video? Oh, wait, let me go easier on you on this. What would you say is your top 3?
That's not easier. Music video. You see, I don't really watch music videos.
No, but you have.
I used to.
You have.
Yeah,
right?
but
so go back in the day, man. Go back, like reminisce when you were a kid. What was a music video where you were just like, this is fucking deadly?
For some reason, The Offspring comes to mind.
Okay.
Not because it's the best, but I remember that. Oh, and then the MTV Unplugged sessions. They're not technically music videos, but you know that.
Like Nirvana Unplugged or something?
Yeah, and Eric Clapton, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Kenton? What would you say is like your top 2, 3 music videos?
Oof.
Yeah.
These days, anything with Nicki Minaj's ass. But it's just probably anything from back in the day. Like Missy Elliott always had really cool, weird videos. I found her and like Timbaland when they worked together had like some cool stuff. I always remembered that. And then any like Flaming Lips seemed to have some cool, weird stuff. I liked anything that was like just like cool and weird. Everlong Foo Fighters, I like that one. That's up there.
That's my number 1, dude.
Hey,
that's my number 1. Hell yeah.
That's a good one. I'll never forget Dave Grohl's hair in that one.
Fuck yeah. When Taylor comes out of the bed and just starts hitting the drums there, or the giant hand, like fuck, man.
Yeah.
Well, I love how it's like they're dreaming, but they know they're in the dream. And oh, dude, that one, number 1 for sure.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Taylor.
No doubt. Yeah, man. Did you see the movie Studio 666?
I actually haven't yet.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, dude, I like it.
I'll watch it.
It like anything you would expect from Foo Fighters, like you're getting it. Like that's what it is. Very good, for sure.
I'm gonna look for the movie now.
Do we still have the rights to air that trailer? We can air it again right here. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Foo Fighters, you gotta get me a record.
It's our 10th album. We gotta break the mold on this one. Let's go somewhere we've never been.
This place is amazing.
Do you guys get this overwhelming sense of death? Ooh, doesn't really seem like the right fit. Whoa, it's rad.
That was weird.
The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
All right, you guys, amps, living room.
Let me apologize in advance for all the rock we're about to make.
Got a couple of ideas I've been working on. I'll lay them on you.
Dude, wait. It's called Everlong, and you wrote it about 20 years ago.
How you feeling? Everything okay?
Ever since we moved into this house, my mind is flooded.
We all have writer's block.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house. It allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
Oh my God!
Dude has got one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy.
It's this place, man.
Let's finish the track.
Can't we just wait, dude?
Play the drums.
Found a new musical note?
Yes, I did.
It's an L.
Any chefs in the group?
I'm pretty handy on a grill.
Yeah, you like your meat charred and dry.
He does make a killer barbecue.
What do we do?
We go save his ass.
Is the album almost done?
Yeah, it's killer.
Here you go, man. Finish the song.
You did.
There you go. Maybe we'll put that trailer in this episode.
Oh.
We freaking their marketing department had reached out to Mark and if we could try and help promote the movie. So we got the rights we aired the trailer in one of the podcast episodes and we were promoting it on socials and stuff. And we got some merch and tickets to the movie and all that fun stuff. So that was kind of cool.
That's super badass.
I'm still waiting for those posters though.
Yeah. You should follow up. You didn't get a tracking number on that or what?
No, but the CD showed up randomly too. So
yeah. Canada. Yay, Canada Post.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was sent with Pure later that one, but whatever.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it yet. It's still wrapped in plastic. I'm
What?
scared to open it.
Why?
Well, just because it's something, it means something to me. So I don't want to fuck it up. I could just
I have another one if you want.
I could keep the disc and just like download you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like having like all the vinyl that I have from the guests that we've had on the show, and I don't even have a record player. It means something to me. It's my own personal collection that I remember that, you know?
Yeah, I only have a few records that are like that because I believe that records are meant to be played, so I play them. There are only a couple of exceptions.
Which ones do you have that you do not play?
I have a Queen Live in Montreal box set that is unopened.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's I don't know what it's worth now, but at the time I got it was worth about $400.
Nice. How much is that Tool record? Wasn't that like $900 or something?
And Enema, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but Enema or something like that. Those are stupid expensive.
Yeah, there was one that they were just releasing like a couple months ago.
Like
I feel like
Fear Inoculum.
Right. But that was like crazy, like $900 or some shit like that, wasn't it?
Was it? No, they had a box set out that wasn't that bad. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you collect vinyl records, Kenton?
I had growing up, my dad and I had a big collection. We had like massive oak bookshelf full, probably close to 1,000 records. We ended up bringing them all in to a place for like next to nothing. And then fast forward, like that was probably like 8 to 10 years ago now, and we got rid of like the majority of them. But now it seems records are like worth something again now. Like they're going through this new like record craze where everyone wants them. Like shit, like we would have gotten so much money for some of these records we had then. Like we sold them now. But my girlfriend and I ended up picking up a few not too long ago. Some guy was selling like a few crates full that came from like his grandparents and then his parents, and he hadn't gone through them. Like, oh shit, there's probably some gems in there then. And like even some of the ones I found there are probably going for 30 or 40 bucks used at, another record store. So there's some cool shit in there. Lots of doubles, lots of like random, like terrible shit they'll never use, like Christmas Carol stuff and shit. But you know what I was using for actually now is sampling. I got one of these, like I could run the record player right into my DAW and I'll make some cool shit that way. And it just like transposes so much, no one will ever know what it was. But you get some real cool stuff with some terrible shitty records that way. Anything a cappella is super fun to play with.
Yep.
No doubt.
That's how hip hop started.
Exactly.
Freaking rights.
Cool.
So when you're working, when you're producing, Do you just do that out of your house, or do you have like an actual studio location?
This is call this my private studio because it sounds way more badass, but it's just my home studio. I don't even really consider it a studio. It's like where I do some of my production work out of. And if I really love an artist and some of the ones I work with, I let them come over and we'll track. Like I can actually some songs that I've recorded that have ended up like charting and done doing pretty well. I've actually tracked right here just by building a makeshift booth and having like the right mic and preamp and setup sort of thing and making sure my neighbors are quiet. But I usually work out of other studios. I really like OCL Studios, which is kind of out by where I'm at here. They have a really massive facility and a super badass, huge drum room that I love. They got a Neve board too. I'm a sucker for a nice warm analog sound. So I like being able to work remotely and versatile and out of different studios and stuff like that. A lot of stuff I do is remote when I work with like international artists and stuff. A lot of it is just click, click, click from home and going back and forth with other session musicians and shit like that. But I don't record drums or anything like that out of here. That's for sure.
We've been having kind of an ongoing debate for the last few episodes on what's the best type of drumsticks. Would you like to get your 2 cents in on this discussion?
Well, considering I am fully endorsed and only play one set of sticks, it is Los Cabos. That is my bread and butter right there. I love them. They are all I use. I don't even have the drum set here. I got multiple pairs in my thing. I used to play the 7/8 Maple Jazz. We used to love these. But we just break so fucking many of them because we'd rock out with them, but love the sound. It just became, even with the endorsement and shit, it just became ridiculously expensive for anybody to make that many sticks. So they came out with a power maple that's still maple, but it's like a little bit bigger and more durable. Oh shit, it is deadly. I love it. We use it on everything. But yeah, Los Cabos all the way.
Nice.
There's the ad.
Yeah, no doubt. We haven't heard maple yet. We've heard. Have we?
Yeah.
Who said maple? You remember?
Yeah. What's the name? Brandon.
No, he was Brandon was talking about.
He uses hickory, but he mentioned that he used maple before, but he didn't like it much because it was too heavy.
Aha.
Maple was too heavy. Hey, he would hate oak then.
Yeah, probably.
I think he said he uses hickory, right?
Yeah.
If I remember that right. And then we were talking about aluminum sticks, hickory, oak, I guess maple.
Nylon tips.
Yeah, and plastics just shit because they break all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have to cut this out, but I think if anyone played aluminum sticks, I'd tell them to go F themselves.
Well, that's funny you say that because who was it? It's Dave Grohl and is it Tommy Lee that use aluminum sticks?
Oh shit! Well, then. Dave Grohl's one of my favorite drummers, so I might have to try some aluminum sticks and shit.
Mark, you should Google that real quick, Mark.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
Bring it up, Mark. You're my Jamie tonight.
I remember having like graphite sticks or something back in the day. We tried. But when you wore them down, you get these fucking graphite slivers. Holy shit, those would hurt. It was like the stupidest thing ever. That's probably why they're not around much anymore. Probably recalled.
I'm sure.
No, they're wooden sticks. They're wooden sticks, but they have a metallic tips. 2-color artwork of Dave Grohl's famous tattoos.
Okay, what about Tommy Lee? There was two artists.
He's the one exception of drummer that could use that. And he's the only drummer that also could wear gloves. And I wouldn't say fuck you too, probably too.
Well, I was thinking of that when you were talking about getting those slivers and stuff. That's what I was thinking. Like, just wear some fucking gloves.
I don't know. Maybe it's because like when I played so much jazz band and stuff with traditional grip and stuff. There's just something about that feel and just having the wood in your hand and stuff and the way it.
Yeah, I get it, man.
It's such a I love.
It's like wearing condoms. It's probably safer, but that doesn't feel as good, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to roll out all that. You got to pull out when you're playing a good set every time.
Exactly. Did you look up Tommy Lee?
I am, but it doesn't say what it's made of. Oh yeah. No.
Just Google who uses aluminum sticks.
50% less shock than wood drumsticks. Lasts 6 to 10 times longer than wood drumsticks, but it doesn't say what it's made of.
Some like secret formula.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know. So yeah.
All new hyperform engineered swagging process for a longer lifespan. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Means it's a fucking gimmick to try and get you to buy
Yeah,
it.
it's marketing bullshit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Buzzwords.
Marketers. Right on.
What
I don't
instruments do you guys play? Any instruments or anything like that?
No.
Joel-
I had
Joel plays the tiny violin sometimes.
yeah. No, I had my uncle's set of drums in my room growing up. Never took a lesson. I'd just fucking bang on those a little bit and thought I was awesome when I sucked so bad. And then I had 2 guitars here that were hand-me-downs. And I don't play, so I donated them to artists that I've made friends with over the years that I knew would take good care of them. So so no, I not at all. I'm perfectly content just listening and enjoying the hard work.
I tried picking up a guitar that didn't go over so well. So my guitar teacher actually suggested that I should try bass instead because it's easier to learn.
You know what? I had that. I've been thinking about that for, I don't know, a couple days only, but about like playing an instrument and stuff. And I was like, fuck, I wonder if I was to ask somebody to teach me how to play bass out of all our friends that we've made, who would it be? Who would I ask?
That is a question?
Yeah, because there's so many good people out there that
Byron.
He's one. He's on that list.
I'm not even considering anyone else. I mean, all due respect to all the artists that I know that play bass, but if I'm gonna be taught by someone, it's by Byron.
Right.
Yeah, bass is probably, I guess, easier to learn than guitar. 2 less strings, so whatever that ratio percentage is, maybe that much easier.
Yeah.
And I guess you don't have to chord much either. So that's, unless you're Jocko or something, want to get all weird with it and get
exactly.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I'm a little bit jealous of you guys then, because that's a great spot to be at. Because you probably really able to just enjoy music. Like ever since since producing for the last couple of years, like it's weird. Like some people look at me like I'm a psycho if they don't really know me, because I get in the car and I'll just silence sometimes, like just dead silence. Like, aren't you a fucking like full-time producer? Is what you do? It's like yeah, man. So I like a little bit I just like a little bit of sound sometimes, because I don't hear it just as a song anymore. I hear this thing over here, this thing over here, and maybe that thing's a bit too hot in the mix, and that should have been that way. And stuff. Just ruins everything I knew and loved about music. But I always then get people that have no musical background and play no instruments, that just love music, to then review my mixes, like, and covet them as like being the final ears. Like, like I'm the professor here that does this full time, but I look to people that, like, sometimes even my mom, who like has no idea what the fuck she's talking about, but she'll just be like, if she can jam out to it and be like, oh, that sounds good, I'm like, okay, then like, I got something here.
Yes. That makes so much sense. I can understand that wholeheartedly. Like one guest we had on a few weeks ago, who Mark was mentioning, Byron, this guy, one of the best guitar players I've gotten to be in the same room with. Like, I was so amazed with how good he is. And he was telling us on the episode how his whole life, like, he's never been able to listen to music. Never. He hears music in notes, like in chords.
He was mentioning that as a kid, he was going to the grocery store with his parents, and he heard the music but all he heard was chords.
Yeah, like if he was grocery shopping at Safeway or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't hear the song that was playing. He would just know the chords that was being played.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's either a blessing or a curse, man. Because and so he's
He's-
trying. How old is he? He's like,
he didn't mention it, but
he's not young. Yeah, he's not like he's a little bit older than us. Let's say that. But to never be able to hear music and to see him play, it's godly. It's ridiculous, man.
I think it's always a curse of any profession, really, that you're passionate about. Like, my background is in web design and digital marketing, so every website that I see that has something that's not supposed to be up to code, let's call it, I pick out. My brother-in-law is a welder. He can't walk by a metal staircase without putting his hand over a weld and see if it's a good weld or not. You know, it's I think that comes with a territory like that.
Yeah.
Anything creative, any creative profession, I guess, has that little bit of a curse.
But that's just, I think anything can be done in a creative and artistic way, in the sense that, for example, even though a welder may need to be like up to code and stuff, but the way they get there may be different. The way it looks to get to that code may have their own imprint or their own way they do it. And then web design, again, you're using palettes like a painter would. You know, you're coming up with the brand book and hex numbers. It just in exchange for a paint bottle. The only big difference, I guess, is the fact that it's way less subjective.
And the technical stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, true. But like, there's technical part of music that I don't even understand that gets all like, you know, everything is crunched down to zeros and ones at some point these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'd have to put some more serious thought into that, because I mean, you can sculpt a piece of shit into an art piece. It's still a piece of shit, right?
Yeah,
It's
and there's
also art.
artists that do that. That's the thing that I hate now, where I'm like, you know what? There's probably, you know what? I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I'd give a welder credit to being artists, because those people, like, what was that one artist that sold a painting for like $1 million that's invisible, an invisible piece of art?
Isn't it like not Gatsby? What the frick?
Banksy.
Banksy?
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. But
or that one, or the one that he had that as soon as it sold, it like, I forget how many millions of dollars, and then it went through his shredder.
Yeah.
I just think pretentious artists and stuff now that I'm like, oh fuck, what is art anymore? You know what I mean? Like, I think a true artist really is a gesture. You know what I mean? Like, you're in service of the people. All these artists that are like, oh, dude, I don't care if people listen to music. I do this for me. It's like that you're going to be a hobbyist your whole life. So at the end of the day, anyone that really gets it, makes it, they do it for the people. That's what music really was. It really invented for, was to be a communal thing that people share together and sing and rejoice. So more and more as I progressed on my musical journey, the less and less I actually hate pop music. I hate it for different reasons now, but the more and more I actually like, maybe there's something we learned in this, just like there is something we learned for marketers in the terrible radio ads, because there's data to show that stuff works. You know, the common person does love that. So I've got out. The death of my ego has been a big part of that.
Pop-ups on websites, they suck balls, but they work.
I think radio I want to bring it back to radio advertising a bit. I think that's dying. I think that's dying out, man. Like, do you listen to the radio?
I know the artist I produced is going to be on there.
Only to funkymooseradio.ca. Radio ads.
Whoa.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
I turned on a ring light and it got way too crazy on me. Jeez.
It works.
There you go.
It's a bit better.
But yeah, radio ads rely on repetition. So, for example, if I say perfection, are you going to sing Paint and Body?
Not at all.
Oh.
I don't listen to the radio, so maybe that's a bad example.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's okay. But there are especially jingles, like, you know, with songs. Yeah, especially with recognizable tunes. those are ads that will stick and work.
Sleep Country Canada. That's actually a huge market that I've been using my production skills at is commercial to commercial work, business to business stuff, doing jingles for companies and stuff, and doing stuff like that. And it's crazy too. A lot of the big record labels and stuff, they actually buy the shit out of airtime. They buy up all the airtime they can and then play the artist music. Not as coveted as getting the radio to play your music, so you don't get the same royalties as just buying up the airtime and playing it, but it, jams it down people's throats.
Yep.
I think Sirius XM is probably more popular than FM now, but I have no idea. I'd be talking on my ass. I don't know the stats or anything like that, but I just feel like
funkymooseradio.ca.
Mark, what's that?
What do you mean? funkymooseradio.ca?
Yeah, what is that?
That's a radio station I started a couple of weeks ago.
Right. Did you know about this, Kenton?
No, that's badass. Is it what are you using, like a third party like online radio thing, or is it like all through the website or what?
No, it's I host everything myself. Well, not here, but I have it's hosted online on the cloud service. And I got a license from SOCAN, so I'm actually paying royalties. Not a whole lot, but and then I can just create playlists and I can do ads if I wanted to. There are no ads right now, but and the
radio,
the focus really is that let's say 90% is rock, alternative, and indie rock, and then the other 10% is songs by submissions. So people that we had on the podcast, or people that we know that maybe not have been on the podcast, but they do have indie songs out. That's what we play at least. That's what I play at least once per hour, usually more. So yeah, that's one of the ways of Funky Moose helping indie artists getting
to get on the radio.
Yeah.
I got a question. How many plays would you how many songs of a I can't talk. How many plays of a song would you have to play for an artist to make like $1 out of that radio play with that license?
Me?
Yeah, do you know?
I have a blanket license. So I pay for the license, and then all the internet radio stations that pay for that SOCAN license pay for the royalties for through SOCAN. I don't know exactly how that's being divvied up, because as far as I know, I don't have to submit what I'm playing, although they did ask to keep track for the past year, I believe, which the software does automatically. So if SOCAN says, okay. Yeah.
So it's like blockchain.
No. So if just random.
Well, no, because it collects all the data. So you can go back and be able to see how many times you played.
It's just a log file. It's not.
Well, isn't that what blockchain is?
Not at all.
No.
Well, it's a start.
See?
No.
I got you thinking now.
No. But yeah, so
wait, is it an Excel spreadsheet?
No, but I can export it to an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. So just for the listeners, you guys, Mark and I have this argument all the time. He's like so gung-ho and proud of all these Excel spreadsheets that he's
not at all. I hate spreadsheets.
You always want to put everything in a spreadsheet
because they're so damn convenient. I hate them.
That's what I'm talking about.
I hate spreadsheets in general. It's easy to put shit in there, and it's
check this. Here's my spreadsheet right there.
Yeah,
that's my spreadsheet for the week on those YouTube shorts that I've been uploading. So I had made a little graph and I checked on my time slots when I uploaded. Fuck your Excel spreadsheets, bro.
Sure, whatever, man. You do you.
Give me a paper and a pen. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing shit on paper and pen. Except then I always hate it because then I always have to fucking export it or type it up in Excel.
Yeah, and put it in an Excel spreadsheet, right?
I write. My writing is just terrible. The only saving grace, I just say I write like a doctor, which is just absolute chicken scratch.
Have you ever had someone ask you if you're a doctor because they can't read what you wrote?
No, just when I just randomly diagnose people on trains and stuff, or try to just perform CPR randomly, they usually ask me, "Are you certified?" I say, "No."
Look at my handwriting.
You could technically classify yourself as a doctor, though, if you think of all the engineering and everything you're doing in the studio when you're producing a song. Like, that's like surgery, man.
Doctor, until I'm like on an airplane or something. It's like,
right?
Something happens.
There's that meme going around, like a father and a son are sitting at in an airplane and someone gets unwell and somebody's shouting, "Is there a doctor in this?" And then the father's going to the son, go on, show me your PDF skills. You're a doctor. You have a doctorate in that. Fuck off, Dad.
Right? Not a doctor, but I can convert your WAV file to an MP3 in like fucking 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What do you guys usually listen to? Like, what any new bands these days, or any genres you're on a kick for these days? Anything specific?
I listen to funkymooseradio.ca.
I would say it's always changing because we always have like a different guest on every week, so it alters quite significantly. I would like to say that I'm very non-biased when it comes to music. Like, I'll give anything a good solid effort in listening to, but I do have preferences. If it's gonna, like, if it sounds like shit, I'm not listening to it. Like, I'll be honest, Will Ardell sent me something the other night and I gave it about 20 seconds and I had to turn it off. It was a song called, I think it's a newer one, and I think it's called
By Will, or
no. He sent me one of his too, and I was like, that's amazing. But no, it's this. I'm gonna shit all over this, and I'm sorry because it's a very popular song. It is called Friday by Rebecca Black.
Fuck off.
Did you hear this song?
He's trolling you, man.
Yeah.
Well, there's more to that story on why he sent me that song, but I gave it like 20 seconds. I turned it off. It's terrible.
That song is like 4 years old, and everybody in the world has come to the conclusion that it's a shit song.
Well, yeah, but it's like so popular
because it's so shit. It's so bad that it's like Two Girls, One Cup. Nobody wants to watch it, but everybody watched it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. There's a market for everything, I suppose. But to go back to answer your question, like I said, I like to try and be very non-biased, and I'll try and give everything a solid effort in listening to it. If it sounds like shit, I just can't. But in the last 2 weeks, the most that I have listened to, I would say, would be Stone Temple Pilots, Will Ardell, and Our Hand, and Weapons. Those, I think, in the last 2 weeks are my top plays, those four. The reason being is that Weapons EP has not left the car stereo since I got it. So since when was that? Last summer. So almost a year now that disc has not left. The Hour Hand, because they were opening for Monster Truck there, so I popped that EP in, and that's in the truck. Stone Temple Pilots, because that was a conversation that Will and Ardell and myself we were having. And what the hell's the name of the song? It's my favorite freaking song.
Flush.
Nope. Interstate Love Song.
Oh.
That's probably one of my favorite songs in the world right there. And who else did I say? Weapons, Our Hand,
Will Ardell.
And Will Ardell. And I think that's because I've been talking to him quite a bit in the last few days. So we've been throwing songs at each other back and forward. But how about you?
Me?
No, for Kenton.
Okay.
Because you listen to Funky Moose Radio.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a few songs or a few artists stand out because of that, because they submitted songs. Is Mini Vandal.
Oh, nice.
And because it's related to that, I listen to Funk Joint quite a bit too. So, yeah. But and then of course, because I've been working on this radio station thing, it's so random now. I listen from anything from 80s rock to women of alternative playlists. And, yeah, I don't know.
Has there been any songs that pop up that you hadn't heard that you were just like, oh, this is amazing? Kind of like how that, how do you say that? Portishead?
Yes.
Sorry, before you continue that, for those of you listening, I played some Portishead earlier, but I had to cut it out. So as a little throwback there.
Shit. Corey Taylor's band.
Corey motherfucking Taylor?
Yeah.
Slipknot?
No, the other one. Stone Sour.
So yeah, Kenton, how about you? Like, what have you been spending the last few weeks?
Listening to?
Yeah.
I've been going through an Americana phase lately because for some reason I thought I was being all crafty, combining, folk elements with country mixed with like funk and rock and all this shit. And I realized that's just kind of what Americana already is. So I've been listening to like some Wilco. I've been going down like a Wilco rabbit hole. Lots of their cool shit. Modest Mouse, I've always loved listening to their stuff again.
Oh, yeah.
The artist I'm working with, Cheyanne, she for some reason she's influenced and loves like the Beatles and the Beach Boys, but her music sounds nothing like it. But I've kind of gathered that what she loves from that is kind of what doo-wop is. So then we started playing doo-wop. She realized, it's like doo-wop music that she's loving. And I realized I feel like all like how to make a good doo-wop song, what I've kind of gathered from listening to all the popular doo-wop songs from back in the day is like really fast shuffles or really fast like 3/4s, really fast 6/8s, like 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and that's kind of like how they're all kind of seems like they all are like that. And so
right.
And then also I love anyone that's took an old school music but then put like a modern flair on it, because I really, as much as I love vintage normal music, now that I've kind of, my ears have gotten so picky when I listen to some songs I used to love, I'm like, oh, what a shit mix. You're like, why? Like, this just doesn't sound like as good as it could sound. And so I really love when they take elements that I love and recording techniques I love, but then really like hi-fi that up in the mix without losing the dynamics or making it tinsel thin and stuff, which is kind of where the magic lies. And can you get this beefy and loud enough for radio without completely limiting and losing all of its dynamic and feel?
Right. So do you have any songs that are going to be released anytime coming up here, Kenton?
Yeah, so I got the Cheyanne Summer EP I was talking about, and there's also an artist, Travis Pickering, that I'm really excited to be working with. He is a country artist. I'd call him almost alt country with some rock influence, not that kind of typical pop country stuff. He had a song called She Gets Me. It was number one actually ended up being number one for all of 2021 on Canadian independent radio stations. He won a bunch of awards and stuff, which was awesome. And he wanted to work with us for his next release. I think he was really excited also about kind of what we stand for and the fact that he's going to own his music and he's going to get a lot of say in the production process and stuff like that. And so we've been working away on that one. I'm going to be aiming to have that ready for early summer. Going to be releasing that one, his next single. It's called Hank Made Country Music, and it's kind of a throwback to the old country and kind of chirping where country's kind of maybe gone to. So yeah, something kind of right along, a little bit edgy enough and a little bit of a throwback to some of the older eras of stuff. So we're right on board with it.
Nice.
So
We should.
The Hank you're referring to is Hank Williams?
I believe that is the Hank, or one of the three.
Yeah.
It's the second or the third.
We can play it on Funky Moose Radio.
Yeah.
.ca.
And but there's been lots of exciting local artists actually been getting to work with lately. When people will ask me like, well, like how many like artists you working with this month or like in the last couple months and stuff, I always think like it's 5 or 10. And I actually was going through and doing accounting, going through invoices, and then going through just all like different files and stuff like that. And
Your Excel spreadsheets?
Yeah, exactly. Excels. I like to color coordinate them too and have super cool colors. It's the only like it makes it less depressing when I pull up just files and I know that I have like just hours of going through shit. It's like, let's put some color on this. Let's make it a little more exciting. And I realized that there's like 25 or 30 different artists and independent businesses I've like done work projects with in the last couple of months. So there's been just tons of exciting ones. Malaika, Hailey's another really exciting artist to work with here. She's kind of doing R&B music. Really strong singer.
Hell yeah.
Vocalist. I've really kind of found I love working with female artists. Not in like a weird way. And just like I feel like they really know what they want, but also first of all, they have a less hard time financially committing to understanding what it takes to do a project. It just seems like I see a lot of the hip hop artists I worked with and stuff, and a lot of the male hip hop artists, for some reason, they always wanted everything free or just had like crazy low budgets. And not even that like I really end up making much money off the projects I do, but for me to do projects to the best of my ability, I usually need a budget for session musicians, for the good mix engineer, for better studio spaces and stuff like that. So there's been a few awesome female artists that, they work full time and they're just fully committed to, the 2-3 year journey it's going to take to really build up their catalog and make this music. And I just have decided, to focus my energy onto the right artists that I see the potential in, and really kind of also realizing that I do have to learn to say no these days, and I have had to now, because I can only put myself into so many projects. It becomes almost a marriage with the artists I find as a producer. Like there's people I produced for release projects a year ago, and we're having them started the next one, but I'm still talking to them once a week, just answering questions related to the industry and stuff.
Yeah, that saying no thing, that's kind of like if I hear a shitty song and I gotta say no. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I can't handle it, man, I gotta hit stop, man, because
people can't take you. You can't be people can't value your opinion on music if you always just blow smoke up people's asses. If you're a yes man, that's the hardest thing for me. Sometimes I have to tell someone, like that, and I'm really good at telling someone something's complete shit without telling them it's complete shit. Like there's a way to word that, and this could use some work. And I've heard you sing before, and I think you're capable of better than this. And ways to word that. But no, I completely agree. You got to be able to be transparent, honest, and it's such a buzzword these days. Well, be honest, be transparent, but sometimes that means saying something that's hard for the other person to hear.
Exactly. Yep, for sure. I want the listeners and viewers, you guys, just go to the description in this video here, and you'll see all Kenton's links, and the links to the songs that we play will be in there as well. Is there anything like pressing, Mark? You have any questions pressing, or Kenton, anything you want to let the viewers and listeners know specifically?
First of all, no, I just want to thank you guys. That was awesome. Really enjoyed chatting with you both. Looking forward to hopefully doing it again sometime. I think that this is an awesome platform you have here, especially felt really comfortable. I think it'd be great for all sorts of different artists. And I think that's kind of a missing these days, is actually a platform for artists to just get comfortable chatting with people about their work and what they do, and what their vision is, and what their sound is and stuff like that.
And what they're listening to.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Funky Moose Radio. I hope they're listening to that.
Hell yeah. I want you listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and our shorts. Check out all the shorts that we've got blowing up YouTube here right now.
And he's not talking about the boxer shorts.
Yeah, my Manscaped shorts. We'll just say goodbye to all you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Goodbye to all you guys.